Hi everybody, it's Andrea. I just wanted to, I guess, give you guys my chapter 1 and chapter 2 from the book that we're reading together. Chapter 1 was pretty, I guess, just very straightforward for me. I mean, I kind of saw it as, like, I guess just, right now I'm I have two paths. We can either do the average path, which is what most of our parents and our spouses or, our friends or our like families might encourage us to do when we are in high school and thinking about college, and that's kind of what we're all expected to do, the average life. And most of us have done that. I know I kind of did. I kind of had an unconventional start. I got married pretty young, had my daughter, and then got married pretty young, and then had my second child soon after. And then I went back to college. I kind of went to school when they were little, and then worked in the corporate world for the last 15 years. And kind of just, focused on work. My husband as well. My husband was military and then got out of the military and then went to the corporate world. And, I think I'm at the point now where I was laid off a year ago, exactly a year ago. It'll be a year on March 20th. And when Beachbody, well, I had always known about Beachbody coaching. I always thought, oh, that'd be nice to do, but when am I going to ever have time to do that? So when the opportunity came last year, I dove right in. I was ready for it. I was, wanting to make a change in my health and, just start drinking Shakeology, since I had done a lot of research on it in the past and just didn't, ever, try it until last year. So here I am. I became a coach, I guess end of April, and I had spent time putting out my resume and doing that kind of thing. My husband at the time said, if you really just want to try something else, do a career change, you could do that too. Thank goodness, I had his support. So anyway, where I am now, I started with coaching, and then I had been on a roll, and then at some point life got in the way. I had a lot of family, things going on, and it just kind of, I wasn't focused. I wasn't doing my personal development. I had my mind on other things, a lot of other things that were going on. Here I am now back. I know that even before reading this chapter that I knew this was something that I believed in. I knew it was something that I could, do as a business for my family. My husband works travels for work, like 80% of the time he's gone. He's home on weekends. Fortunately, our kids are older now, but they still need you. They still need that, that parent figure, even though they're older, young adults in college. My son is still home going to school, but he needs our advice and our, us to be here for him. And I couldn't fathom going back into the workforce. So, especially with my husband traveling all the time. So here we are, fast forward to, after the holidays, after, a big season of running. I'm a runner. And it's interesting because now going into chapter 2, my thoughts on chapter 2 are, I kept thinking of the parallels between, the starting line of a race and, the starting line of your you know, your dream. And I mean, when you're starting, when you're training for a race, you train, you plan, you prepare, hopefully, unless you are my husband who just runs a marathon one day without any training. Yeah, I don't recommend that. But yeah, so for me, you know, it takes weeks, it takes months of preparation, of, you know, preparing, training, eating right, getting enough rest, getting enough sleep. You know, that's all you think of. It's like 80% of your brain is used just for your race, your whatever race you're preparing for. Especially if it's a big race, you know, half marathons, full marathons, triathlons. I'm pretty sure they take up a lot of your day or your week. Family time, it's a big commitment. So reading chapter 2, I kept thinking of the parallel that made. You know, if it's your first time getting to that first race, you're super nervous. You're super, you know, you've prepared, you planned. Realistically, you know that you could do that mile. If it's your first time ever doing a marathon, you haven't. I know for me in my training plan, I didn't get to 26 miles during my training. My highest mileage was a 20-mile run. And, you know, it's assumed that the other 6 miles you can do it, you know, because on race day the adrenaline is pumping and you're gonna get there. So I went with that, you know, advice. I was like, okay, I'll trust that. That's what my coach told me. I can trust that. And yeah, so for me, I had a lot of analogies to this starting line chapter, the start chapter. One thing I picked up here was to be passionate, be authentic, and be ready for surprises, because that's also part of the race. Even though you've trained at home or on a treadmill or, you know, in your own town running around, you know, your block, there's nothing like race day. It's a different experience. When you're on race day, you don't know what's going to happen. You know, you prepare for it, you prepare for surprises, but you don't know what's going to happen. You're going to be, like, swept off your feet, like, just literally surprised at how many people are out there yelling your name, because usually you'll wear your name on your shirt, and people are yelling your name out and just, you know, cheering you on. So you're surprised. You're like, wow, how did that person know my name? Oh, it's on my shirt. Well, today I'm Shakeology. So anyway, you know, that stood out to me. Average is familiar. Very true. Average is very comfortable. And like I started out telling you guys, average is what everyone expects from everyone, you know. But we do have to be ready to be I feel like you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Going back to my race analogy, you know, when you're running out there, it's uncomfortable. You're hurting. You are in pain. You have to be prepared or comfortable with the idea that you're going to be uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable, mentally uncomfortable. And I feel like this whole business, this everything we're doing here, we have to be mentally tough and mentally prepared, physically prepared sometimes, to have that uncomfort, you know. I'm dealing with my own uncomfortableness right now, and I'm starting to get comfortable with it. I was telling Kelly last night. So anyway, next on my list is, you know, where am I right now? And I feel like right now I'm still at that starting line. I'm still teetering. I'm deciding whether or not I should even go for it, or, you know, because I have a family. I have so many things right now in my mind, you know, that are going on in my life, that I'm actually, you know, wondering, like, if I have to be brutally honest, there are some things, like, that I need to get cleaned up in my life, you know. But will it ever be really perfect, you know, is, I don't know. So that's where I am. I'm struggling with, like, is it ever perfect enough? Is it ever a perfect time to go for it? Or, you know, or do you just go for it and then make it work by making some sacrifices? Primarily, you know, for me, it would mean I'm at the point now where my husband has seen that, you know, I haven't had much traction or movement with this business in the last 8 months. So he's asked me to, you know, try to apply for jobs, you know, local and part-time, and doing something that, you know, doesn't require a lot of, I hate to say this, but doesn't require too much brain power. I come from an IT, you know, systems, data world, and that requires a lot of brain power for me, like a lot. And in order for me to have that kind of job, I don't know that I want that kind of job. I told my husband, I think you know, if I'm going to go back to work, I'll do something fun, like not fun, but, you know, with my part-time, or with my Beachbody business, you know, I wouldn't mind like working at Wegmans and, you know, meeting people and, or like, Home Depot or something, you know, where I can get like discount on cabinets, kitchen cabinets or something, if we're going to do a remodel in the future. I don't know, just, I'm at that point where I'm thinking of I'm brainstorming different things, but at the same time, it's just a small sacrifice that I would make for now, because I do have to be brutally honest and brutally realistic, kind of like he said in the book, you know, financially, I need to help with our home's finances a little bit, or at least help with some of the things I want to do with the business, you know, like pay for a website, you know, like hire, you know, just little things like that, pay for pictures and things that I can like pay for that as I'm building it, and then not worry about pulling out of our family's budget to pay for that stuff. And that's basically where I am. I hope I didn't bore you guys. I hope, sorry this is kind of late, but hope you guys have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.